Hello everyone, welcome back to Actual English. I'm Jennifer Clyde. It's time for lesson 208 and today's topic is Taegeuk warriors. Now, who are the Taegeuk warriors? We're talking about the warriors out there fighting for Korea or representing the Korean team or our country, right? So the players that actually run or represent the Korean national soccer team are called the Taegeuk warriors. But I did hear from a couple of my foreign friends that some foreigners, they get confused. They wonder who the Taegeuk warriors are and who the Red Devils are. I guess it's because it's not as common. It's not that common to see supporters with a title or a name that they call themselves, as we do see in Korea. So the supporters out there that cheer for the Korean national team, the soccer team are called the Red Devils. And of course, the runners or the players on the national soccer team are called the Taegeuk warriors. So we'll specifically talk about the Taegeuk warriors today. Are you ready? Let's get started then.
Hey Peter, I've been hearing the term Taegeuk warriors floating around a lot lately and I don't quite understand it. Do you know what it means?
Yes, absolutely. It's the sport that I feel most passionate about. It's about football, soccer. It's the nickname for the South Korean national football team.
Okay.
And I guess it comes from their flag, which is the Taegeuk. That's what it's known as
right,
here.
I know what that is.
And every team has their kind of nickname. I know that England, my other home team, is the Three Lions because on their football badge they have 3 lions.
Oh, that makes sense.
So it's just an easy way to name that team, like a nickname.
Guess with everything going on in soccer, maybe I should have known that. I do hear it a lot, but I hear a lot of different nicknames for the Korean soccer team. And, you know, I'm not always as up to speed as I could be. Who's your favorite Taegeuk warrior? I like saying that.
My favorite Taegeuk warrior? At the moment, I'd have to say Ki Sung-young. He's like the pin-up boy for Korean soccer at the moment. He's tall, like 186. He's got like a baby face, and he recently married a celebrity as well. So he's kind of everyone's favorite. Do you have any favorite Taegeuk warriors, maybe from past or present?
You know, I think I shared with you the one time I gotten really invested in soccer. There was one player I liked a lot, and everybody liked him. He was kind of mouthy.
Okay.
He had bleached blonde hair. He did really well. A little not tall.
I know who you're talking about.
I actually don't know his name. So.
Lee Chun-soo. He's very mouthy. You're right, but he's very good as well.
He was really funny.
Yeah, he had the skills to back it up.
Yes, yeah. So I felt like he was allowed. So then I guess one more time his name.
Lee Chun-soo.
Then I'm an Lee Chun-soo fan.
Yeah.
If he's my Taegeuk warrior. There you go.
The team right now could do with someone as skillful as him.
Indeed, indeed.
Welcome back, everyone. How did you enjoy the actual talk conversation? So today we had Peter and Kelly talking about what? The Taegeuk warriors. I believe that Kelly was a bit confused about the Taegeuk warriors and the Red Devils as well. And they even did mention a couple names. Ki Sung-young, of course, was a name that Peter mentioned, and Kelly, she did mention that she was not quite sure of many, Korean soccer players, but she did remember a certain name, which happened to be Lee Chun-soo. He played on the national soccer team years back. However, he is not one of the players that represent the Korean national soccer team anymore. Okay, let's take a look at the conversation then. Okay, first of all, Kelly says, Peter, I've been hearing the term Taegeuk warriors floating around a lot lately. Okay, so let's take a look at the word or the phrase float around. Now, when we say that something floats, what does it mean? A boat could float on water, which means that it does not sink. It stays on the surface of the water, above the water. But if we say that something floats around, we're saying that it is somewhere up on the surface, moving from one place to another. Rumors can float around, meaning rumors can be passed from one person to another. It's around everywhere. So she's saying that she has been hearing Taegeuk warriors floating around a lot, meaning she has been hearing the term here and there a lot. Okay, it's been mentioned here and there. Everybody's talking about the Taegeuk warriors, in other words. And she says, and I don't quite understand it. Okay, she's not sure what Taegeuk warriors means. And then she asks, do you know what it means? Well, Peter is kind enough to tell us. Let's find out. Peter says, yes, absolutely. Of course I know what Taegeuk warriors means. It's the sport I feel most passionate about. He's talking about football or soccer. Okay, and he says it is the nickname for the South Korean national football team or the South Korean national soccer team. You all know what a nickname is. It's not an official name, but it is, I guess, a name that is given to something or someone. It's more of an informal name or a casual name that something or somebody can be called. So my name, let's say for example, on my passport it says Jennifer Clyde, including my middle name, which is Jennifer Grissom Clyde, but I often ask my friends to call me, my close friends to call me Jen, J-E-N, short for Jennifer. Or I can be called something else. I can be called, I don't know, a book, for example. It's a very bad example, but let's say book. That would be my nickname, okay, for all these different reasons. So it is not an official name, but it's like an informal or casual name that you're called. Okay, so that is a nickname for somebody or something. The South Korean national football team. We're talking about the Taegeuk warriors. And I guess it comes from their flag, meaning the Korean flag, which is the Taegeukgi, he says. And then Kelly says, right, I know what that is, meaning she knows what a Taegeukgi is. Moving on. Now Peter says, and every team has their nickname. Of course, almost all teams do. Every team has their nickname. I know that England, my other home team, so he is mentioning that Korea is one of his home teams and the other one happens to be, of course, England, okay? Is the Three Lions. So the Three Lions is the nickname of that team. Why? Because on their football badge, they have 3 lions. So that is the reason why they are called the 3 lions. But what is a badge? I think I often hear people saying 배지, 배지, right? That's the way a lot of Koreans pronounce the word, but it's badge, badge. It's like an emblem or a symbol or a mark that represents something, okay, like a sign. So he says that it is on their badge. What is on their badge? 3 lions, and that is why his other home team is called the 3 Lions. And he explains, so it's just an easy way to name that team, like a nickname. Okay, moving on. Kelly says, I do hear it a lot, but I hear a lot of different nicknames for the Korean soccer team. And I'm not always as up to speed as I should be. Now, up to speed is another way of saying up to date. Okay, you are up to date on something or up to speed, which means you know everything that's happening. Okay, you know everything that's happening recently. You know the details about every single thing that's happening about it. So she says, I've heard several other nicknames for the Korean soccer team, but she's not quite sure because she's not always as up to speed or up to date as she should be. And then she asks, who is your favorite Taegeuk warrior? Okay, we all know that a Taegeuk warrior is like a nickname. We call the Korean national team or the players Taegeuk warriors. But here's our question. Who is your favorite Taegeuk warrior? Let's move on. Peter says, at the moment, meaning right now, I would have to say Ki-seong-yong. Okay, I get his name confused all the time. Ki-seong-yong. So Ki-seong-yong is Peter's favorite Taegeuk warrior as of now, at the moment, right now. And he says he's like the pinup boy for Korean soccer at the moment. Pinup. Pinup. Pinup is a term that's used in many different situations, but I would say usually when you're talking about a very beautiful, a voluptuous, a gorgeous girl. And she is the girl that all the guys are crazy about. She's so beautiful that men want to have pictures of her or even posters of her, and they pin up the posters on their walls. That's where pin-up comes from, because on posters usually with pictures of beautiful women, people like to pin them up, okay, on their walls. That's where this comes from. But it can also mean that this person or this boy or whoever is very, very popular, is very big, is huge in popularity. So he is the pin-up boy for Korean soccer at the moment. Okay, one more time, this means he's very, very popular at the moment. He's tall, like 186 centimeters. He's got like a baby face. And he recently married a celebrity. That's true. So what is a baby face? There is a singer, and his name is Babyface. Of course, we're not talking about that artist. We're not talking about a musician, but as you see, he has a baby face. He's got a baby face. It means that he has the looks of a baby. Not exactly a baby, but this means that he looks very young for his age. Okay? So usually, if you want to refer to someone that looks younger than his or her actual age, you would say that he or she has a baby face. It simply means that he or she looks a lot younger than his or her actual age. Okay, we often say 동안 in Korean, that's baby face in English. And then he says, so he's kind of everyone's favorite. He's everybody's favorite player. And then here's a question for Kelly. Do you have any favorite Taegeuk warriors from past or present? Okay, now her answer refers to the past, right? Let's take a look at Kelly's answer. She says, you know, there was one player I liked a lot, and everybody liked. And then she explains, he was kind of mouthy. Okay, you can say mouthy or mouthy. What does the word mouthy mean? Let's take out the Y. M-O-U-T-H. We are referring to this part, okay, our mouth. But if you say that somebody is mouthy, we're saying that he or she is very talkative. He or she likes to talk a lot. He or she talks all the time, but usually, especially in a rude way, okay? So if you say that somebody is mouthy, it's not such a positive thing. It could have a negative meaning to it. He or she talks so much all the time, especially in a rude manner, okay? He had bleached blonde hair and he did really well. He did really well, meaning he was a pretty good soccer player, but bleached blonde hair? Bleach. If you bleach something, such as clothing or your hair, you are making it a lighter or a brighter color. I think we did say, I did hear a lot of bridge, which sounds like a bridge, B-R-I-D-G-E. That is not the word we're talking about. The correct pronunciation should be bleach, which means to make it lighter or brighter. So he had bleached blonde hair, meaning he had colored blonde hair. He had dyed his hair or made it a light blonde color. Okay? And then Peter says, I know who you're talking about. Lee Chun-soo. He's very mouthy, he says. He's very mouthy, you're right. But he's very good as well. That's right. He's very good as well, meaning he's good at what he does, meaning soccer in this case. Okay, moving on. Now, Kelly says yes, so I felt like he was allowed. Allowed? And then end to the sentence. What is she saying? Okay, you may have wondered, and he's allowed? Or he was allowed? He was allowed to do what? He was allowed to be mouthy. Why? Because he was a good player. Okay, so he had the privilege of being rude sometimes. Why? Because he was good and nobody cared as long as he was a good soccer player. That's what she's saying. So then I'm a Lee Chun-soo fan. This is tricky because if you pronounce Lee in the American way, which is the L, Lee Chun-soo, then it would be I am a Lee Chun-soo fan. But if you pronounce it the Korean way, which is Lee Chun-soo, then it should be I am an Lee Chun-soo fan because E starts with the A, the vowel sound, not the E. E, the vowel sound. So I'm a Lee Chun-soo fan, or I am an Lee Chun-soo fan. He's my Taegeuk warrior. Now, Peter says the team right now could do with someone as skillful as him. This means that the team right now could use a good player like him. It would be helpful to have a player as good as Lee Chun-soo on the team. And of course, Kelly agrees by saying, indeed, indeed, of course, absolutely. Okay? Hope you enjoy the conversation. Let's take a listen to it one more time.
Hey, Peter, I've been hearing the term Taegeuk warriors floating around a lot lately, and I don't quite understand it. Do you know what it means?
Yes, absolutely. It's the sport that I feel most passionate about. It's about football, soccer. It's the nickname for the South Korean national football team.
Okay.
And I guess it comes from their flag, which is the Taegeuk. That's what it's known as
right,
here.
I know what that is.
And every team has their kind of nickname. I know that England, my other home team, is the Three Lions, because on their football badge they have 3 lions.
Oh, that makes sense.
So it's just an easy way to name that team, like a nickname.
Guess with everything going on in soccer, maybe I should have known that. I do hear it a lot, but I hear a lot of different nicknames for the Korean soccer team. And, I'm not always as up to speed as I could be. Who's your favorite Taegeuk warrior? I like saying that.
My favorite Taegeuk warrior? At the moment, I'd have to say Ki-seung-young. He's like the pin-up boy for Korean soccer at the moment. He's tall, like 186. He's got like a baby face, and he recently married a celebrity as well. So he's kind of everyone's favorite. Do you have any favorite Taegeuk warriors, maybe from past or present?
I think I shared with you the one time I gotten really invested in soccer. There was one player I liked a lot, and everybody liked him. He was kind of mouthy.
Okay.
He had bleached blonde hair. He did really well. A little not tall.
I know who you're talking about.
I actually don't know his name.
Lee Chun-soo. He's very mouthy. You're right, but he's very good as well.
He was really funny.
Yeah, he had the skills to back it up.
Yes, yeah. So I felt like he was allowed. So then I guess one more time, his name?
Lee Chun-soo.
Then I'm an Lee Chun-soo fan.
Yeah.
If he's my Taegeuk warrior. There you go.
The team right now could do with someone as skillful as him.
Indeed, indeed.
Are you ready for actual expressions, everyone? Okay, then let's get started. Here we have the easy word, a rather simple word, nickname, and it means an informal name or a title for something or someone. So some synonyms are title, stage name, and pen name. Now, I've added these two to explain to you. You may hear of a stage name. Usually, a stage name is given to an actor or an actress, perhaps, because they perform on stage. So if it is not their real name, but if they go by an informal name, that informal name would be their stage name. Then what about a pen name? P-E-N, name. Okay, this is an informal title or a name given to a writer in place of his or her real name. So a lot of authors and writers have pen names, okay? So keep that in mind. Actors and actresses, they perform on stage. That's why it's called a stage name. And authors or writers, what do? They type, of course, but they can write something with pen. So we call that a pen name or pen names. Moving on to badge. It's very simple. A marker or a sign or a mark. Think of it as a symbol or an emblem. And name. If you use name in the verb form, it means to give a name, to call, identify, even to nickname somebody or something, okay? It's used in the verb form. Moving on, mouthy, here we go. Mouthy or mouthy, both are okay. Means talkative, rude, keep that in mind. Big-mouthed is another synonym for it, and loud-mouthed as well. Keep in mind that mouthy is commonly used in the negative way. It does have a negative connotation to it. It's not positive. And bleach means to whiten, lighten, or decolor, meaning to take color away from something. So you can bleach something by the sunlight or even with a certain chemical. Okay, it means to make lighter or brighter. Let's move on to our pattern then. Float around means to move from one place to another. Okay, here is a sentence. So many rumors are floating around about her, about somebody. Okay, so if there are several rumors about something or somebody like a celebrity, and there are so many of them, and so many people are talking about those rumors, rumors can move from one place to another, right? You would say, so many rumors are floating around about him or her. Our next pattern, up to speed on someone or something. This means that you are up to date about something or someone, okay? A sentence is, I need someone to bring me up to speed on what's going on. This idiomatic expression is often used with to bring someone up to speed. So in this case, you can say to a friend, if you don't know what's been happening about something, I don't know what's been happening currently. Hey, I need someone to bring me up to speed on what's going on. This simply means I need somebody to tell me what has been happening till this very moment. Okay, bring me up to date. Bring me up to speed. Moving on to our final pattern, it's baby face. I told you, usually if somebody has a rather round face and has an appearance or looks that is much younger than their actual age, we say that he or she has a baby face. So here's a sample sentence. She is in her mid-30s, but looks 20-something. See? She's in her mid-30s. Her actual age is 30-something, but she looks 20-something, which means she looks young. So in that case, you can say she's got or she has a baby face. Okay? Do you have a baby face? I would love to have a baby face. I don't have a baby face. And yeah, that is a wrap for today's actual expressions.